Welcome to Monday Motivations, 52 Weeks to a More Purposeful You. This week, we are talking about motivation with Brittany O'Neal, who we recently met in yoga. And as soon as I met you, I was like, oh my gosh, this girl has some serious, amazing, good vibes. And we started chatting. We're both entrepreneurs. And it felt right to have you on the show. So thank you for being on the show and sharing your time.
Yeah, thank you, Corry. Likewise. I remember we were talking about how that we both didn't want to go to yoga that day or something. And then you were like, oh, I do this podcast. And I just had a gut feeling like the whole time in class. I was like, after class, I'm going to say, I want to be on your podcast. So it worked out.
Yeah, I remember the reason that I didn't think that I wanted to go because I had already gone 2 days in a row.
Right.
And I wasn't even listening to my body, but my mind was just kind of whispering to me, that's going to be too much. Like 3 days in a row is going to be too much.
Yeah.
And then it was awesome. It was a great.
Because we can convince ourselves so easily not to do stuff that's going to be good for us.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Yes. Oh. So what did you think about this week's topic? Motivation.
Motivation. It's a fun topic. It can be great. And then it can be just, oh boy, how do I find that motivation? I like how you had described that it's so simple to get that motivation back. It's so simple, because if you're feeling, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you're just not there, we have the power to change that. And I like how you gave certain steps in your little entry of your book. It's motivation.
It's so simple but so hard. It can feel hard.
It can feel hard, and it's like, how do we find those tools to get us to that level where we're like, yes, let's go, I got this. And then sometimes it wanes and it's like, oh no, I don't really want to do anything. But I think that the consistency, it's almost like it's a habit. Like you need to wake up every morning and develop these little habits to keep that motivation going. And the way you were writing out, like, all right, what do you hope that whatever you're trying to do is going, like, what do you hope it's going to, like, what's going to come out of it? And then that's going to turn into a want. And then you'll have your vision, and then you'll be inspired, and then you'll have your intention. And then, like, the key is you got to take that action too. Like, that just seems most important, because you can think things through and all that stuff. But if you're not marrying it with an action, then that motivation, like, lessons and lessons.
You really summarized that entry really well. And I realized I never properly introduced you. So I want to make sure I do that real quick, and then we'll dive right back into kind of the process that you were touching on. So for those of you who don't know Brittany, I got so excited to start chatting with her that I forgot to tell you a little bit about her. So Brittany is a nature lover, a yogi, and this is my favorite part. She's a deep conversationalist, an artist, and entrepreneur. She is focusing on listening to her gut and letting intuition steer her in the direction to learn what fills up her cup. This year, she's been testing out her entrepreneurial skills by creating an eco-friendly house cleaning and organizing business, I definitely need you, called Spruce Up Your Space. And you're in Northern California, for anybody that wants to spruce up your space. Roseville area, Placer County, okay. She believes it takes a tribe to thrive in the world. With her gifts of maintaining a tidy and organized space, she feels lucky to be accepted into the homes of her clients to help them thrive. To spruce up your home, connect with Brittany on her Instagram, and we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. You know, running your own business probably takes a lot of motivation.
Oh, 100%. It's just me.
Yeah.
And I see that every day. I'm like, okay, there's these things that I need to get done. Britt, come on. How are you going to motivate yourself to continue taking steps forward? to thriving, to getting to that point where, yeah, I just want to keep bettering and bettering my life.
And especially how you had mentioned in your bio about it takes a tribe to thrive. And that is one thing that I've experienced. I think I've had my own business for almost 13 years, and it can be a lonely place. So like having that tribe is really important. How do you stay motivated in a solopreneur situation, and also knowing that you thrive with a tribe?
Yeah, I like that term, solopreneur. I have a hard time with the last end of that word, but that was awesome. I stay connected. When I feel down, or when I feel just lack of motivation, I'll reach out to people and just connect and see what they're doing and run ideas with them. Just surrounding myself with people who uplift me and who motivate me, and surrounding myself with people who are doing similar things that I'm doing, or who are successful in what I want to attain, are some things that help me to stay motivated. Like, I was just talking to a friend today, and he's started his own business too, and we're just kind of just like, oh, this is crazy that it happens like this. How do we price stuff? Just kind of just chatting about the ups and downs of just figuring it out. And it's just so comforting to know that I'm not alone, and that I always have people I can reach out to. Even within with the people that I clean for, they've turned into my friends. Like one of my clients, she lent me one of her vehicles because my car had to go to the shop. There's little things like that. She's the one that I told, it takes a tribe to thrive. Like, I'm here to help you because, you got other things you're dealing with in your life. Like, I'm here to keep your space clean. And then she throws that at me when I needed a car to like help drive around. She's like, Brittany, it takes a tribe to thrive. Take my car.
I can even see that being like a tagline of your business.
Yeah.
And on bumper stickers, bags, shirts. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I think for go-getters, hard workers, people that place a value in their ability to get things done, it can be challenging to receive. And the thing is that we can't do it all ourselves, and we actually lose motivation when we burn ourselves out from trying to do everything ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
I have a coach, Allison, and she is all about this book. I think it's called The Power of Receiving. And I took it with me on our last trip. We went to Costa Rica last month, and I was just reading through it, and it's so simple, but the book really breaks down how hard it is for us to really receive. Something as simple as, and I catch myself now, somebody will offer, to open the door or to do something for me. And just this morning at tennis, I had the picking up all the tennis balls and the big thing, and our coach, he's always like, Corry, let me do it for you. I'm like, no, I got it. But then this morning when he said, let me get it for you, I said, okay.
Yeah.
And then I just noticed how like uncomfortable it was to just say okay and receive help. It's like, I'm there to work on my tennis lesson, not to just pick up balls. Like, if somebody's offering,
Oh my gosh. Well, there's all these little hidden messages in the things that we do. You think you're there to go just learn tennis and get better at tennis, but then there's this little lesson of, oh, okay, I'm noticing that I need to let go a little bit more, and just receive the help in that small little moment.
Yeah. Have you had an experience in your life that you could think of right now where you didn't have motivation and just what was that experience like? Can you think of any times?
Experience where I didn't have motivation. I think just when there have been moments in my life where I've been like anxious and just the unknown of just what to do. In 2020, I had quit my job and I was an outdoor educator, and that I learned that I was defining who I was with what I was doing. And then through my quitting, I just kind of like lost myself and lost that motivation. I didn't know what next step to take. I didn't really understand what to do. And I think then I just needed to surrender and just be with family and say, hey, it's okay. Just go chill out for a bit. But it did take a while to find that motivation to do something, to better my life, to find like fulfillment, or just do something to see what happens and know that the unknown is there, but it can be your friend.
I really like this example you're sharing, because it's like sometimes we'll stay and we'll tolerate like a little comfort zone. And then it must have taken a lot of courage to quit. So something motivated you enough to step into the unknown. And then
it's that gut feeling too. It was just like, oh, I need to move on. I couldn't explain it. It's just something that those little things where you just can't explain it. It's just got to go with it.
Yeah. And so then you did it. You were motivated enough to make a change, but then you were in like no man's land. It's like, now what?
Yeah.
And then and there wasn't motivation there. And then I think this is a good segue into the steps from the entry, because I think it'd be fun for us to look at what I was suggesting here and to see like, what of these steps did you do? And then maybe what things did you do different, so that our listeners and even myself, we can add a little motivation generation plan. So
I love it.
generation.
Right.
Okay, so the first step was to choose something that you hope for. Choose to hope for whatever you need motivation in. So when you were in that uncertainty, it was choose what you hope for, find hope, what are you hoping for, and then awaken your want. What do you want? So now that you're in this uncertainty, if you hope for something, then it grows into a want. And a want grows into a vision of like, what can this become? Sounds like you got a good little vision for your business. And then when the vision is clear, that's kind of when we kick into motivation and we start taking like baby steps or big.
You know what's crazy is, as we're talking about this, I'm realizing that the formula, you called it a formula, definitely was there throughout that whole time, from the time that I had quit my job, moved back in with family. Then I went and traveled with my parents for 6 months. And then I came back to the Orangeville area where I grew up in. So during that time, my parents were entrepreneurs. So I grew up with parents that were running their own business and were able to stay home and had that flexibility to just create their lives the way that they wanted to create it. And I think that had a big impression on me. And then being with them for the 6 months, they were still running their business on the road. And I think, looking back now, I don't think I was aware of it then, but looking back now, I think that's when it was really rooted that, oh, Britt, you could do something on your own too. Like, you could work for yourself. I loved working for other people, but I think I made this transition of, you could do this. What do you want to do? So I create, so I have a side hustle too, where I was making wind chimes and stuff. So I took the time to make a website for that, and just kind of grow, okay, what kind of skills do I have? What do I want? I eventually, yeah, came back here and then just randomly started cleaning for people, and I'm still cleaning for people and have grown to love it and cherish the friendships that I made, and it's flowing really nicely. And it is, I think it's taken this time to kind of create that vision of, oh, I want to be my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that? I'm kind of already doing that. How can I keep doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like in your business right now, you have some good motivation going.
At this moment, I do. It does on a daily basis. I think, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And that takes the fun out of it, where it's, no, let's talk to somebody who knows how to do taxes and like what's the
Yeah.
best way to do this. Let's
build your tribe, because
yeah.
you're basically going to build your tribe for your business.
Mhm. Definitely. And it does take time. And I think understanding that if you write down a list of all the things you need to do and then you look at it, I get very overwhelmed,
Mhm.
where it's, okay, think of that vision.
Yes.
What do you want for your life, and work backwards. What are your goals?
Yes.
Like, what's your 5-year goal? Okay, what can you do in a year to complete that 5-year goal? Okay, what can you do this month to reach that 5-year goal? All right, girl, what can you just do today that will help you get to that 5-year goal? All right, go talk to a CPA.
Yeah.
Just like keep it
Baby step.
simple. Yeah. Tomorrow, go find 2 new clients.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. You're basically helping us name an obstacle that will compromise our motivation, and that's overwhelm. So when we get
100%.
overwhelmed with the daily tasks,
Mhm.
then we lose touch with our vision. And I had a coach one time, Susan
Mhm.
Carlisle. I have to get back in touch with her. She's so amazing. But I used to get very overwhelmed, and she would say, Corry, be present now while holding a vision for the future.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because we have power in the present
Mhm.
to make the right choices, but it's
Mhm.
the vision. There's actually, I think it's a proverb, or it's like in the Old Testament Hebrew Bible, that says something to the effect that, people perish for a lack of vision.
Mhm.
We crumble, we fall apart if we don't have a vision and a hope for tomorrow, for our future. We're just going to get eaten alive with
Yeah.
the minutia of the present.
Yeah. Well, it's like you just get stuck in your routine every day, doing the same thing. And then 10 years go by, 20 years, 30 years, and you look back and you're like, what did I accomplish for myself? And something that really got me was thinking about, because I've definitely just dove into my spiritual practice too. And
Oh
like
yeah,
reading books.
let's talk about that, because you had
Okay.
mentioned, I hope I didn't get you off track.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay, because yeah, you had mentioned at the very beginning
Mhm.
is that daily practices to help keep the motivation up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I actively seek out just listening to different people, like motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, people in my life, just reading books, all that good stuff. And I do see a theme of, if you establish just daily habits that are healthy for you and elevate you, and you continue to do them every single day, that just sets the foundation for you to just rise up and be in a higher vibration. And it takes time to figure out what those things are. And what I've found is that if you just keep it simple, again, super simple, right? Like I make my bed every morning. I make my bed. I meditate every morning. And it doesn't have to be 20, 30 minutes. It could be just for a minute or 5 minutes, however much time you have. I make conscious decisions of the food that I put in my body. So I eat as healthy as I can, because I've learned that when you set your priorities with just being healthy, fueling your spiritual energy, and just setting those just foundational things, the rest will follow. You have to take action, but you will have a clearer mind, and you'll be able to see what your path is.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect, of course.
Right.
Like but I've noticed that when you keep those small daily habits, then it'll bleed into those bigger habits. Like, do you just sit home and watch TV all day, or are you actively working on your business, Brittany?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really believe that the morning routines are critical, because the further the day goes, the more we're already exhausting all of our resources. So it's easier to get off track. Whereas, if I'm on track in the morning, like this morning, lately, we've been going to bed earlier, which has been awesome, like around 9ish. And so I'll wake up without an alarm clock at like 5, which is great. I love to be in this rhythm I've been in, because I was not in this rhythm for a long time. And but when I woke up this morning, I try to stay off my phone completely for at least 1 to 2 hours, but I needed to check something on my phone. And soon as I grabbed my phone, then I opened my email inbox, and then I was like, no,
Yeah.
because I
know,
because as soon as if I start seeing those things, it takes my brain in a completely different direction. Then I don't do my morning prayer, my morning, reading, my journaling, and all the good stuff that actually helps me be grounded for the rest of the day. So I think protecting that morning time is really important.
Crucial. So crucial. I started that too with my sleep, like going to bed. That's a priority too. Like, you need your sleep.
Yeah. Hydration,
Yes.
sleep, nutrients fueling our bodies, and then of course we go to yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga.
Yeah. And it's like I said, it's just the foundational stuff. If you're taking care of yourself, that builds your self-confidence. It builds good habits. You're less stressed. And then when those bigger decisions come, or the things that you're doing in your life, whether it's building a business, or if you have a family, or whatever it is, you can just know that, like, I got this.
Yes.
Great.
This was so great. So as we begin to kind of tie the conversation down, I always like to ask at the very end, what is your advice for yourself and for others to be inspired with in regards to motivation?
Yeah, I think the number one thing, and this is what I got from Mel Robbins, who's I think she's a motivational speaker, but I love listening to her TED Talks. I haven't read any of her books, but she has this 5-second rule. That's what she's known for.
Okay.
And her whole thing is, if you have a thought, and I've said this earlier, if you have a thought and you don't marry it with an action within 5 seconds, you are less likely to take action or be motivated to do whatever you want to do. Like, she gave the example of, if you see somebody dancing and you have that just feeling of like, oh, I want to go dance, and you don't do it in 5 seconds, you're not going to really do it.
Yeah. Because then we'll start thinking out,
Yeah, you talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Right. So it could be as simple as, for instance, when we met in yoga and you had said, oh, I have this podcast and I'm always looking for people on it. And I had this like, oh, I want to do that. And I made it up in my mind, like, I'm talking to her after class. Like, if I don't talk to her after class, then it's not going to happen. Right. Or it's, just writing something down in your schedule. If you want to go work out, like your example in your book, if you want to set this workout routine, you got to write, just the act of writing it in your schedule will create more motivation and more traction for you to actually do that thing you want to do. So I think the action is key. And I know in my life, it's so true as well. Like when I'm sitting there dwelling, like, what do I do? But then I go take action.
Yep.
Doing the littlest thing, like texting people like, oh, hey, do you still need your house cleaned? Or then the universe provides. Like the universe meets you at the point of action. You have to do it.
Take the action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay. And for anybody in the Roseville, Placer County area that's looking for organization, cleaning, check out Brittany at spruceupurspace.com, or is that Instagram?
That's Instagram, spruceupspace.co.co. Yeah.
.co. Okay, spruceupurspace.co, and then you are also on Instagram, and then you also have your cool wind chimes, which I am going to get one and a few for some friends for Christmas. So I'm already about Christmas, and that's at Nature Nut Crafts Instagram.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
Brittany, thank you so much.
Welcome.
And I'll see you at yoga hopefully on Friday.
Oh yeah, I could put it in my schedule.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for Monday Motivations, and we'll be back next week. Thank you, Britt.
You're welcome.